This is Dr. Gigi Sabbat, and you're listening into the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Emily.
Hi, Gigi. Great to have.
Hi, thanks so
Hi.
much. It's such an honor to have you here today. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about you and where are you from?
So I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I moved to Florida when I was like 10 years old. And then I moved to Tampa after college. Because my dad was originally living here. He was working for another real estate company because he's been in home building since I was a kid. So I'm lucky to have few parents that have been involved in business and whatnot. Like they taught me a lot about being resourceful and being adaptable. And so he's also really funny. I get the humor. I get the humor part from my dad.
I love
But
it.
yeah, but moving here and moving to a city when you don't know anyone has its challenges. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm not really a lot of people come to Tampa from different places, so but that's kind of yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for
Oh,
sharing.
yeah, yeah.
And what inspired you to become a stretch coach?
I think really just like I've been passionate about helping people feel better and move better. And I think that people are just, they think they're connected with their bodies. They do all this CrossFit and they work out as you're a runner that I
Yes.
think they think they stretch, they think they're connected with their bodies, but they're not. And I think it's just like we're starting to notice like these trends of hot Pilates and
Yeah, I just did Pilates for the first time yesterday.
hot things. And I think it's good for you, but you really need to connect to the basics of the core, like working on your anatomy, working on your posture. So a lot of the work I do is really getting you connected with your feet. And it's like a whole hour. It's a diagnostic session. So my passion is really just teaching you how to reconnect with your anatomy, even if you have never done stretching before. Anatomy, just like understanding like where your sits bone is, where your about your posture.
Yes.
So but really just I've always liked helping people and coaching and kind of like getting people to be more connected with their bodies, whether they want to stretch for 5 minutes a day, or 10 minutes a day, or just every once in a while when they can. So
Amazing. And why is stretching so important?
I think it's because it just improves flexibility, it reduces muscle tension, it supports better posture, helps prevent injury. It's also good for improving circulation, relieving stress. And when your body like moves better and you're more flexible, you're less likely to get injured. Because a lot of people they think, oh, I don't need to stretch, and then they go for a run and they might get a shin splint, or
Right.
even myself included, if I'll go out like dancing, for example, or I'll do something fun for myself, like you need to take care of your feet. If you're on your feet all day, do something to work on them, even if you don't have a tool around you. So really, it's just important because our bodies age and our bones age,
Right.
and taking care of our joints is important. So that's why stretching is important. But it's also strengthening because people don't really associate stretching with strengthening, but you are because you're in the modality I teach, you're using a ball and your own body weight. So you are strengthening your body because you're on the floor
Yes.
holding up like on a ball. And that's the most important part of it is you just need to be able to balance and use your own body weight.
I agree with you 100%. And as you mentioned, I am a runner. I'm training for a triathlon here.
Yeah.
It's coming up in October, and I've had the honor of working with you as my stretch coach,
Yeah.
which has helped tremendously. So stretching is important, just as
Yeah.
much as running or being on the bike or
Yeah.
swimming, we have to stretch. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah.
Emily. And how often should an individual stretch?
Probably every day if they can for say 10 minutes a day if they have the ability to see someone for stretching they should because I know it's one of those luxury things, you go get a massage and you get stretched, but ideally for like 30 minutes a day, whether it's with like yoga. And the biggest thing is yoga is different than stretching. People kind of think yoga and stretching are the same. They're not.
Can you
Yo
explain the
so
difference?
yoga is more posture based and stretching is more like stretching is more routine based. So yoga has postures and stretching has specific routines. Like I teach people a hamstring routine. So it's more like dynamic. One is you're holding something, one is you're moving from something. So they're two different things.
Right.
So if you're stretching, you're working on the muscle, you're working on the tissue. But in yoga, you're working on the posture, you're working on holding in that space. And you can combine the two. You can do yoga routines with the balls. You can do yoga routines with your breath. So they honestly, the biggest thing is just about dancing with your breath and
Yes.
slowing down and just being in tune with your body. So I think yoga is great, but I just found something else that I liked a lot better. I think it just allows me to be in tune with my body and it just allows you to slow down. The
What
best thing
activity is that
I like working on my feet.
on your feet?
It's they're called foot wakers, and I did this training like a couple years ago. It was a 3-day training just on feet. They're called foot wakers, and
Nice.
people, you might think you have healthy feet, but as a runner,
Yeah.
people just get all these issues. And like the biggest thing is when you connect with your entire central nervous system, and that's what I teach people is that connect with your muscles, connect with your joints, but then strengthen your body. So you can go from stretching a little bit every day to just doing what you can. But make sure you're working with someone that's a professional, not like a someone that
Right.
did a 2 week training and things are qualified, like someone that actually has the certifications and stretching USA isn't it's specifically active isolated stretching. That's
Right.
primarily what I practice is
Awesome. What about Pilates?
I think Pilates is good. I think Pilates can be really challenging if you don't have a strong core. And a lot of times I've taught mat Pilates and people just
Nice.
it's really hard on your neck. A lot of mat
Mm.
Pilates I did a mat Pilates class
Mm.
once myself. And if you don't have proper core strength and you don't have the proper support in your neck, and you're not using tools, like I will always, like if I'm in a class, I'll put a block behind my head.
No.
All the routines, like the 100 and the certain ab series, if you don't have a strong enough neck, you'll notice you're compensating.
No,
So
my.
always having something like behind your neck if you're doing the core series.
Very good advice.
No, it is
Yeah.
because I find myself, and you complain why my shoulders bother me because you don't have people don't,
Support.
and there's upper body. Women and men are different in strength wise, and so having not being able to pull your head up. I'd rather you get the connection with your core and just
Yes.
put a block behind your head. Don't try and do something if you don't think you're. And myself, like I'm not gonna go try and run a marathon because running isn't really my. Running used to be my thing, but I'm more of a
Right.
biker.
Yes. Do
Yeah.
what works for you. Do what you love to do. I'm a runner.
Runners are y'all are interesting people.
Thank you so much.
But
Yeah.
you honestly it's a great activity. I guess it definitely you're committed. You have goals, and running
Yeah.
is its own thing. So, but I appreciate your determination
Yeah,
and your
you're
passion with
welcome.
running.
I have
So,
friends who do both. The ones who love to run and the ones who can't not run. They said, I don't know how you do it. Put your feet on the pavement and keep going with
I
it.
sprint. I'm like I'm running for 5 minutes, and I'm like I'm good.
Right, exactly. So I understand.
Yeah,
And but we can all come to an agreement and understand each other from the fitness side of things,
yeah,
which is what I found. Emily,
yeah.
why is emotional wellness just as important as physical wellness?
I think for me, especially as someone who's dealt with and I'm open with this. I've had ADHD most of my life, and dealing with like mindset and mood and having to work on my own confidence and whatnot. I think it's just being able to have someone to talk to and being able to know like we
Yes.
can't go on autopilot. We need to take time for self-care and stress and anxiety and just certain things with emotions come up. But really just your emotional well-being and your mental health is really important. And the great thing about the modality they teach is that they connect with your central nervous system, is that allowing you to slow down. There's all these things out there like the sound bowls and the things. So I think that meditation is really important. I think that doing little things for self-care, even if you don't make it the
Love that.
priority,
Yeah.
self-care is important. I realize a lot of people think they don't have the time for it, or they have to take care of their parent, or they have to take care of someone, but take time for it. It's like I know it seems like a lot, but there's apps out there. There's Insight Timer. There's It's Calm.
Yes.
There's lots of ways. Grounding is really important. Like going if you can find a space with like grass and just stand and walk in the grass. I didn't do it this morning, but I typically go outside and I'll walk in the grass and just see if you can just feeling the ground underneath
Yes.
you. Because we do live in cities and places and people can't always put their feet in grass.
Right. That's a
So
great way to start the morning.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
why is nutrition so important?
I think it's just for me, nutrition is like because I was vegan for a long time, but I'm not really vegan anymore. I'm a flex. I kind of do what I
Okay. I'm
well,
pescatarian. I was
vegetarian,
vegan.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that you have to take care of your health and feed your body because you want to get a good night's sleep. And I was a vegan health coach for about a year. I remembered how the most challenging part people were like committing to it and going to the store. And the biggest challenge is now with going to store and you don't with the food that's around.
Right.
It's really they're not really showing us like you have to specifically look for. You go to the grocery store, you're seeing like they show you all the stuff, all the chips and all the things. So you actually have to actively. I tell myself to shop the perimeter of the store. No, no,
Yes.
no. Shop the perimeter of the store, and then do the aisles. I know it seems like, but going through and knowing, okay, you want to go to one aisle where there's oats, you go to the other aisle where there's like baking stuff, but only go to this candy and the chips aisle if it's like, okay, I need this.
Yes.
So my just little things you can do. But nutrition is just like I've been allergic to gluten for
Oh my.
for a long time, and most things have gluten in it. But just taking care of your health, like being being a health coach and just helping people with their diet. But you have to have a balance because not everyone, 90% of people, they can be vegetarian, but you have to watch your body because especially for someone with who's on the spectrum, like being nutrition is just important to take care of,
Yes.
regardless of anyone. Like you got to make sure you eat because if you skipping meals because people are so busy, they think they don't have the time of eating in their car. Just take that time.
Very
I know
good.
people, that's kind of how I think about nutrition.
Yes. Thank you. And tell us more about your experience as a business owner.
I think it's more just a lot of times as a business owner, it's definitely I've had my challenges because
Like I haven't.
no, I haven't. I would say that between being able to be disciplined and also just learning to adapt and no one's going and you learn these modalities, but there's no like business coaching. So I've learned, I live in Tampa and I utilize a lot of local resources. I've used the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center in Ybor and just being resourceful. But it's definitely had its challenges between COVID, between other stretch places that have
Right.
opened up. So I've learned you gotta be resourceful, but also learn that it's okay to have a part-time job. It is okay to
Yes.
it is perfectly okay to recognize I'm having this and I need to also do something else. But it's definitely tough, but I've learned how to approach people as a business owner, be like, hey, like
Yes.
this is gonna work for me. Make sure you have your policies, make sure you have your know what works for people. But no, like I love like working with clients. Like you get to do something different. Like I like challenges because so if you're someone out there that has a body challenge or has a thing going on and you want to be challenged with your own people. I like helping people, but I like a challenge. If
Yes.
someone comes to me, but they have to be committed because my business, like I have a program. You don't just come to me for one session. You're seeing me for say a period of like 10 sessions,
Very good.
which seems like a lot, but it's not because we're correcting, it's whether you're committed to it. So I know from my end, you as a business owner,
Yes.
I committed myself to using you as a coach and it got me committed to doing some of the things that I otherwise might not have done. So
Thanks, Emma.
just being committed to using your resources because having a business coach is expensive and not everyone can have one, but we all have to just do what you're good at and then find other people that are better. And if you can't, and if you're having a hard time with the other part of the business, then just find a way around it.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
because if
that.
you're not good at something, then like I don't mind certain things. I'm like, I Canva and graphic design, not my specialty, but you find a way to like approaching people in the community. There's certain things you gotta just pick
Yes.
what you're good at. So
Very good. And can you share one of your success stories?
I would probably say like when there was a client of mine that I worked with, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. He was a desk worker. His name is Eric, and he came to me or I met him at a community event. He had really bad like hips and flat feet and plantar fasciitis. And we probably met around about 6 or 8 times, and he had no idea. He had no idea how out of alignment his body was, and he was one of like the first people that kind of like when I was kind of just starting my business,
Right.
I worked with, and I've had a couple of other people that I've helped change, but then sometimes I see them for a session and they either they can't meet me. So when you see me once and it's progress. So if you skip a session, you just lose out on progress. But the biggest thing with him is that he was so grateful to
Oh.
what I helped him, and you develop a relationship with people, but people just have to like make a commitment to yourself to work on something. Because if you're older and you want to protect your body, but that was kind of he was a loyal person. I helped him a lot with his feet and his back, and kind of
Nice.
we helped to correct a lot of the issues he had. So
I love it. And I can tell that you're passionate about the work that you do.
yeah,
Amazing. And what gives you the most joy?
I think really just being able to like go out and do the things I enjoy, like going out in the community, going to art events. I've been a dancer since I was little, so not professionally, but going out to a community event or going on salsa dancing or just things that hula hooping.
Yes.
I know people like hula hooping. I'm like, yeah, it's fun. Have you ever hula hooped
Yes, I
before?
have. Yeah, we just did a competition with my friend Dr. Tanya Golden and her family.
Yeah.
I did not win that competition.
No.
And I'm working on the hula hooping.
Yeah. So but really just what brings me joy is just connecting with people in the community and
Yes.
being like seeing your neighbors or being able to be active, but also
Right.
having purpose and that doing something for the you're doing something for the greater good in the community.
Yeah, I love
So
that. And you also have a book, a stretch book. Can you
yes, I
say that
do. I have a book. This is my book. It's called Stretching with
Can you
Emily.
zoom it in there so the folks can see it?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit more about it.
So this was my little pandemic project, and it says the back of it says, as a holistic wellness professional, I am struck by how so many people come to me to discuss how they feel disconnected from their bodies. We all lead busy, fast lives day after day, and it seems few of us are taking the time we should to slow down and be present in the moment. We can benefit by being mindful of how our bodies are influenced by how we feel. And the guy that I mentioned, AIS, that stretching person, said, let me introduce an outstanding young trainer named Emily Stein. This bright,
Oh,
ever smiling young lady is blessed with boundless energy and a strong desire to help her fellow man. So I've helped people with Parkinson's, MS, fibromyalgia.
wow.
So it's a lot of just a lot of work I've done is like a lot of rehabilitation and corrective exercise. It's also the work of like the fun stuff. But you gotta be good with you gotta work on your anatomy and get those things
That's very true.
fixed before you get into all the people want to do all the fun workouts and all the fun things and they realize, oh, I got hurt. I'm just saying like 99, 80%
No,
of
you're
people
right.
will let's go do the fun or they'll go do the hit class or whatever, but they don't have good their feet are out of alignment. Their form. In a lot of these classes, they just don't really watch their form a lot. But yeah, but the book was my biggest thing about talking to people about. I just pulled up the
No,
foot
you're
page.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, our feet have 26 bones, 33 joints, 100
Wow.
muscles, and ligaments and tendons. Did you know that?
Well, I'm learning more about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is I teach people about is I'm working on their feet.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm gonna fitness has a lot to do with reflexology.
Love that.
So working on your feet is people are like, wait, foot fitness? But yeah, so there's foot fitness, and then you can do that, and then you also work on your hands. So
Amazing.
yeah, this
Thanks
is
so
mine.
much for sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
And
you
working.
can't. I know you can't really see this, but those are the little you stand on them, and they're for your feet. So they have little nubbies on them. I know it's in black and white. You probably can't see it, but they do have a. It's basically there's nubbies on them. You can
Nice.
kind
What
of see
page is
here.
that?
That is page 47.
47. Okay.
Yeah, so you basically you're it can be intense if you have a lot of people have really tight feet. So just they're because we're wearing shoes all day and we have to wear the other thing is wearing the right shoes to fit your
Right. I
foot.
can see that in the picture. Yeah.
You kind of I know it's black
Yeah.
and white, but
Yeah. No. Very nice.
yeah.
Thank you so much for
No
sharing.
problem.
And you talk about Parkinson's. Recently, I just did an event with my friend Pamela Huel in the local area of Palm Coast. And so it's so important to raise awareness and educate
It's
others about
deadly, yeah.
Parkinson's. So
Yeah.
I love that you're doing that.
I've done
Yeah.
some work with it. It's a deadly disease and it you can help someone, but it's definitely not a it's neuromuscular. Like I helped also a client that had a stroke. This was years ago, and he regained
Oh,
mobility in his body. But people I think with certain conditions are hesitant because of its medical,
yes.
and they see if you have a medical license, they like. But so it's really interesting with the Parkinson's community. So what kind of event?
Well, it was a Parkinson's event, and we had folks with Parkinson's, so both male and females who have Parkinson's, and they spoke about
Yeah,
living with Parkinson's. So
yeah,
yeah, definitely we'll share that as well in the description there as well if folks want to learn a little bit more. But
yeah.
like
I
I
think that's
said,
great. Well, everyone has there are a lot of conditions out there that unfortunately are not
right,
great, but people have to live with them. We have to
exactly.
live with our what we have and but find a way to use it as like, okay, that's not gonna hold me back.
Yes, and you're doing amazing, raising awareness and educating others about not only stretching but also Parkinson's. So
Yeah, and also just being aware of your mind and being aware of your own things and how you can just
yes,
be empowered.
that's
So
awesome, Emily.
yeah.
And Emily, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
So my biggest thing is just like stay true to yourself and take care of your mind and your body and just be intentional with how you spend your time because everything takes patience. Like I've had to just continuously work at something. Things in life are not easy for me. I did.
Oh,
No, it's okay. And I've recognized that once you start something, and if it works, do it. And if it doesn't, just go do something else because
yes.
not everything's gonna work out. But staying consistent and being persistent with things and just finding things that make you feel happy and finding your community and just doing what you can to make you feel good. And also, I think the other thing that I didn't mention that I've when I went to school, I got a community service scholarship and volunteering and giving back in the community is important. And there's an organization called Tampa Women for Good, and they do a lot community, but volunteering and giving back, and it just makes you feel good. Like I volunteer at different like art events or things in the community and art or music events. So, but just being intentional with how you're living, like
It's awesome.
trying to be disconnected from social media sometimes, but just aligning yourself with what brings you joy and what keeps you connected. So helping people with their bodies and making sure that people are educated. Like I go out in the community and I'll go out somewhere, I'll tell them, hey, your posture isn't correct. And they don't even realize it. I'll ask the person.
Right.
Because when I'm out in the community, I'm like, hey, your posture is a little off. And they don't
Yes.
but I ask them obviously, but that's kind of what brings me joy. It's
That's
just
awesome.
living with your purpose and being intentional.
Yeah. Thanks, Emily. Do you have any last words for the audience?
Not that I can think of, but if you're thinking of someone who could use some more self-care or some more attention to their bodies,
Yeah.
they can. I do some virtual work, but most of what I do is in person in Tampa. But no, just keep yourself level-headed and do what makes you feel good. But just we all think we have to keep doing things at a pace like everyone else, and
Do it at your
I
own
mean,
pace. Love
do
that.
do things at your own pace because not everyone's at the same pace as you. Some people just do things differently.
Wow,
So,
very
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom there as well. Golden nugget after golden nugget. I love it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
where can the audience find you?
So you can find my so my website will be linked in the bio section.
Excellent.
And I will have Gigi on notes. Read this, but if you go here, that's my contact information. It's
Awesome.
yeah. So my name is Emily Stein and my business is Roll for Fitness. And that's just a bit. So you can find me online and you can feel free to reach out to me and we can also share it in the comments. So, yeah.
Thanks so much, Emily. This was great.
And I'd love to work with you. Everyone should stretch. Just Google stretch with Emily in Tampa and it should come up. Not look, I'll have a happy to connect with anyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily.